I'm very happy to be here today to give you the meditation instruction, the guided meditation, on behalf of the World Alliance of Buddhists as we celebrate Earth Day and this series of meditation classes online. And so today I will do very short chanting here from the three traditions, from the Theravada, Mahayana and Vajrayana. And then we will do some meditation to release the stress in the body, and then the breath meditation, followed by loving kindness meditation, metta bhavana, before the dedication. So please enjoy yourself and try to be mindful, aware, and conscientious as we engage in this practice. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutayambi buddham saranam gacchami, Dutayambi dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutayambi sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas. May I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas. May I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas. May I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. And may they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata ungate gate paragate parasamgate bodhi soha. Tayata ungate gate paragate parasamgate bodhi soha. Tayata ungate gate paragate parasamgate bodhi soha. So now get yourself into a nice comfortable position for the meditation. Whether you are sitting on the ground, flat on the floor, or sitting on a cushion to raise your lower back, keep your lower back straighter, or whether you're sitting on a chair, or even reclining, even lying down. But I often say if you are lying down, maybe because you have a bad back or something like that, just be careful you don't fall asleep, because that's the position that we sleep in and we are used to it. So be very careful you don't fall asleep. And even standing up is fine. The Buddha said we can practice Dharma in the 4 postures of sitting down, lying down, standing, moving, walking. But try to keep your body still as we engage in this practice. We're about to practice releasing the tension from the body. If you find it difficult to do so, you can actually use the breath. For instance, take a deep breath in and then a long breath out and release the tension with the out breath. Or you can even manipulate the body a little to release the tension as we engage in this practice. But when we get into the breath meditation, try to keep your body still, nice and comfortable, not too rigid, but also not lazy and slouching. Place your tongue on the upper palate above your top teeth in your mouth with your lips gently touching. And your chin ever so slightly, just tucked in just a little bit to keep the back of your neck still and also nice and straight, relaxed. Your shoulders nice and upright, but not rigid, like I said, but not slouching forward either. As we engage in this releasing the tension meditation, preparatory meditation for the others, as we release this tension from our body, we also help ourselves to release the tension from our mind. It also has the tendency to bring the mind inside the body, rather than wandering around in the past, in the future, helping to bring the mind to this present moment. So gently close your eyes, or if you like, you can keep your eyes open a little bit, but don't wander around with your looking around and so forth. So bring your mind inside your body right now, and we will release the tension, starting from the tips of the toes all the way up the legs, up to the shoulders, and then down to the tips of your fingers and back up to the top of your head. I will guide you through this now. Start by releasing the tension from your toes. And also from the bottom of your feet. From the balls of the feet, from the arches, from the heels. And from the top of your feet, in between your toe bones. And around your ankles and Achilles tendons. Now release the tension from your lower legs, the calf muscles and the shins. And from all around your knees, front, sides, and back of your knees. And now release the tension from your upper leg, the hamstring muscles at the back, the quad muscles at the front. Release this tension all the way up to your midsection. Now release from the hip flexor muscles, just below your hips, the glute muscles at the back, the groin at the front. And now from on and just above your hips, your lower stomach and your lower back. Like mentioned, if you're finding it hard to release some tension, then use the breath. Release the tension on the out breath. Now release the tension from further up your stomach and up your sides and to the center of your back. From your chest area, underneath your arms, on your sides, and to your upper back. On both sides, on the outside of your back, you have the lateral muscles, release from them. And then you also have the rhomboid muscles that are next to the spine on each side. We tend to carry a lot of stress around this area. So pay particular attention to releasing the stress, the tension. And now release the tension from your upper trap muscles that run between the neck and the shoulders. We also carry a lot of stress in this area too. And if we don't collect ourselves to release this stress, it can lead to things like headaches and so forth. And now release the tension from your shoulders on each side. Your upper arms, the biceps and triceps. From all around your elbows. Your forearms, wrists, hands, fingers and thumbs. And now bring your focus up to your neck. And we will release the tension from the front, sides, and back of your neck. And now from the back of your head. And the sides of your head around your ears and temples. Now release the tension from your face, from around your cheekbones, your cheeks, your jaw. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Nice and relaxed. From your chin, your mouth, both inside and outside. From your nose and sinuses and eye sockets and eyes. Make sure you're not frowning on your forehead. Nice and relaxed forehead. And finally, release the tension from the top of your head, from the crown of your head. I point out something now. It is said that if we frown, if we have an unhappy face, stressed face, then we tend to use 64 muscles. But if we have a nice, gentle smile, only 16 muscles are used. You can see that by smiling a little, we can release stress and tension in our muscles compared to frowning. And now bring your mind back inside your body. Just once more, we're going to see if there's any more tension in the body that we can release, any leftover tension. So scan your body very briefly from the tips of your toes, up your legs. If there's any more tension, release it. Your upper torso to your shoulders, down to the tips of your fingers, and back up to the top of your head. And when you are ready, we're going to now engage in anapanasati, mindfulness of breath meditation. Initially, bring your focus to the tip of your nose. As you breathe in through your nose, all the way down into your lungs. Past the throat, past the chest area, all the way into your lungs. As you breathe in, the air fills the lungs and they expand. As you breathe out, they compress. You may notice that as you breathe in, the air that's been outside your body, it's quite cool on the back of your throat. And you may notice that as you breathe out, after the air has been inside your body, it's quite warm as it passes your throat on the way out your nose. These are just some extra details to help you focus on the feeling of the breath. As you breathe in and out, follow the breath in your nose all the way into your lungs and back out again. That's all we have to do right now, is place the mind on the breath. Past is gone. The future is not here. And even this present moment is fleeting. So as we say, keep your mind in the present by placing it on the breath. Some extra things I can point out too is the breath is actually the most important physical thing that we do. Without breathing, there's no life. Just like a painter. If the painter has nothing to paint on, a canvas or some sort of surface, then there can be no painting. You cannot paint in the sky, for instance. And it's likewise with the breath. If we don't have breath, then we don't have the life. So we are focusing on the most important physical thing that we do. Some people think, I've heard some people say that focusing on the breath is really boring. But actually, it's wonderful to do so. Once again, it tends to bring the mind inside the body and also helps us to stay in the moment as we breathe in and out. We also have the breath all the time, so we don't have to go looking for an object of meditation. So now breathing in, breathing out. If thoughts arise, or any other mental activity, such as emotions, don't cling to them. Don't grasp at them. Also, don't try to forcefully push them away. And don't deny them. Let them go naturally by replacing the mind back onto the breath. We are sentient beings. We will have thoughts. But don't cling to them, grasp at them, try to push them away or deny them. Just let them go naturally by refocusing on the breath. And it is likewise if your mind goes the opposite way and becomes dull or sleepy. Replace the mind onto the breath more brightly, and this will brighten your mind from being dull. The dull mind sometimes actually feels quite nice, like just before we fall asleep, but it's not conducive to bright concentration. It's not conducive to leading to wisdom. So often our mind is like a pendulum on an old clock. One extreme of being agitated and overly excited, overly busy, and then the other extreme of being dull or sleepy. We need to find a middle path here. A bright mind, but not attached. Less distracted as we practice, as we go along the path. The more we practice, the better we get at it. The better we get at it, and the more we practice continually and constantly and consistently, the more we move along the path, the more we improve. A step at a time, a breath at a time. Just like if we want to walk to the top of a mountain, we only take one step at a time and breathe one breath at a time. But eventually we get to our destination if we are diligent, patient, continue onwards undaunted. It's also important to notice or note that during the meditation, don't be disappointed with yourself. If you are distracted often, it's okay. It's part of the process. Just apply the antidote of replacing your mind back onto the breath. Don't try too hard. Don't try too little. Not too tight, not too loose. The middle path. So let's practice like this in silence for a little while. I should mention as well, you can also add the extra technique of counting the breath. This will help you to focus on the breath. It's important not to have the counting as the meditation though. That's why we would only count to 10. So one breath in and one breath out is one, and so on and so forth. If you become distracted on the way to 10, then go back to 1 at that time. But don't count past 10, because we want the breath to remain as the object of the meditation. So if you're inclined to do so, you can also add this extra technique of counting the breath. Up to you. So let's practice in silence for a little bit. So now we can all feel very pleased with ourselves for engaging in this short session of breath meditation, and also engaging in these Earth Day celebrations and meditation sessions. Be so happy with yourself. And generate now from your heart universal loving kindness, Mahametta. Of course, this is not separate from the other immeasurables or the other Brahma Vihara. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha, or universal loving kindness, universal compassion, universal empathetic joy, and equanimity, a mind, a non-biased mind. Fill yourself with this universal loving kindness, which includes the other three as well. You can utilize visualization to do this, or you can just work with the feeling and the knowing. You can visualize your whole being filling with white light, or like a white nectar. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness, which includes appreciation, friendliness, for you are your own best friend. As mentioned, kindness, honesty, non-violence, harmlessness. Really have the feeling that you are generating and extending this loving kindness to yourself. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards. Initially to your loved ones, your family, and your friends. And fills them with the loving kindness as well. You can have such wishes as, may they be happy and engage in the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and free from engaging in the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful, free of conflict. During the metta meditation, we can be quite creative, actually, as we all have our own characteristics. Maintaining a pure intention, we can use our creativity. You can also, for instance, if any of your relatives is not well, you can visualize that they are now well. If some of them are unhappy often, you can visualize they are very, very happy right now. Remember that we are all interconnected, all interdependent. And obviously our family and our friends and loved ones, we have a close affinity towards, or I feel a warm affinity towards. This is due to previous karma, previous lifetimes as well. We have been in each other's lives before. We can appreciate this fact. We are not separate from all of nature, from all of the earth, and throughout infinite space. So now you can also radiate gradually further and further this universal love and kindness to now also include strangers. Those people that you may know a little bit or not at all. You don't really have any attachment towards them or aversion from them. You don't think about them. Indifference. It may be the person down at the local shop or somebody that you walk past in the street often or every now and then. We are also interconnected with these people as well. We have been in each other's lives before. They have been your mother, your father, your relative, maybe even your enemy as well. Extend this loving kindness to them as well as your loved ones. And wish that all of these people have happiness and the causes of happiness. Be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful and free from conflict. Filling them with so much loving kindness. Now gradually radiate your loving kindness out further and further. To now also include those that you may regard as enemies, those people that you may find irritating or frustrating, or for whatever reason, you just don't get along with them. In fact, it could even be people or groups of people that behave very, very badly. But now we extend this loving kindness to them also. It may be helpful to point out that if these people or groups of people that behave badly, if they behaved better, you wouldn't have this feeling, this intense feeling of dislike for them. If they engage in the causes of happiness, in other words, basing their actions and words and so forth on some sort of insight, compassion, love, friendship, and so forth, then they wouldn't behave like this. So I think it's helpful to note that, because it can be difficult to extend loving kindness to such people. So have the wish now that they have happiness and that they engage in the causes of happiness. I may also point out, it's almost like your loving kindness extending to them and filling them is an antidote for them, and like the medicine for them. It's likewise with all of the living beings. Also have the wish that they are free from suffering and the causes of suffering. That they are peaceful, free from conflict. May all of these people be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And now we can extend our loving kindness further still to include all of those living beings that live around your immediate area. All of the living beings that live on the earth or even under the earth, that live in the waters, whether that be salt water or fresh water, and the ones that fly through the air, whether they are born from wombs, from eggs, from moisture, or through transformation. All the sentient beings, whether they're weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, whether they're seen or unseen, or near or distant, or born or still to be born. Even around your immediate area, there's innumerable living beings of all different shapes and sizes. How much more so throughout the whole earth and beyond. So extend your loving kindness and fill them with your loving kindness, wishing that these living beings have happiness and the causes of happiness, be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, that they are peaceful and free from conflict. You could also have the wish or wishes like these living beings that maybe they are insects or some sort of animal living in dreadful fears. You can visualize that they are now free from these fears, free from the difficulties that they experience in their current situation, and wish that they are reborn into a higher realm, into better conditions, conditions where they can actually come into contact with the Dharma, and the conditions that they actually take the opportunity to practice the Dharma and therefore work their way towards what we call liberation or enlightenment, to total freedom. And now radiate your loving kindness out even further, distance-wise, to include all of the living beings in your state or county or region. The innumerable living beings that we are interconnected with. And of course, even the nature itself, the inanimate objects, the plant life, trees and grass. May there be peace everywhere. Extend this universal loving kindness out everywhere, within your region, state, or county. Like a tidal wave of loving kindness, gathering more momentum as you practice this meditation. Have your loving kindness now radiate to other states and counties, until your loving kindness pervades your whole country and all of the living beings within your country. May the country be free from natural disasters, man-made disasters, free from wars and conflicts. May all of the living beings find happiness and engage in the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and avoid engaging in the causes of suffering. May peace pervade everywhere. And now extend the loving kindness to other countries. Initially, those that you have an affinity towards. Maybe you know them, maybe you've lived there, maybe you've traveled there, or maybe you just have a nice feeling about them from looking at them on the internet or TV, documentaries, reading about them. May all of the living beings within these countries and the countries as a whole, may they be peaceful. May conflicts be overcome. Any imbalance in the natural environment, may it become balanced. May there be happiness, and may they be free from suffering. Now extend the loving kindness out further and further to include those countries that you may know a little bit, or even the ones you don't know at all, have some sort of indifference towards. May they also be peaceful, have whatever they need. May the natural environment be balanced. May there be happiness, and may all of the living beings, may they be free from suffering. Radiate further and further still. Now to those countries that for whatever reason you may have some sort of aversion towards, some sort of dislike. Extend your loving kindness to these places as well. And once again, wish that all of the beings within these countries have happiness and its causes, be free from suffering and its causes. May they be peaceful, free from conflict and wars. Until your universal loving kindness pervades this whole earth. This earth, every living being within it, every little, even tiny little dust mite or largest physical thing, they are totally interconnected. Everything is interconnected. I remember my master when I lived in California, when he was talking about interconnectedness, cause and effect, law of karma. He said to me, even if you sneeze here in California at this moment, it will affect the weather in Paris, France. Of course, he was using humor to give a very deep teaching. So have your loving kindness pervade this whole planet. This loving kindness, I must remind you, is radiating or generated initially in your heart, in your mind. And you are the one that's making the effort to radiate it outwards. So you can rejoice in that and rejoice in the rejoicing and so on and so forth. Now extend this loving kindness out beyond this planet alone. Have it pervade the whole solar system. Wherever there is life, and even where there's no life, just maybe even inanimate planets. Maybe there's life that we don't know about. Have this loving kindness pervade everywhere throughout the solar system. May there be happiness. May there be freedom from suffering. May there be peace and freedom from conflict. And have your loving kindness now, like I said, like a tidal wave, gathering more and more momentum, covering vast distances. Now have it pervade throughout the whole Milky Way galaxy. Where there are many, many solar systems with their own suns and own planets orbiting the suns, where there must be life of some sort. May these living beings, may these sentient beings, in whatever form they take, whatever shape, size, whatever their mentality, may they be happy and engage in the causes of happiness, and may they be free from suffering and avoid engaging in the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful, and may they be free from conflict, both individually and collectively. Have the loving kindness now pervade further and further to include all of the galaxies throughout what we call the universe. It's important to remember that. We just call it a universe. It's like we're imputing a name and a concept on it. Remember, I mentioned that we are all interconnected, all interdependent. This can be likened to a net that is all connected. The furthest part of the net from the other furthest part of the net is still connected, no matter the distance. So now your loving kindness pervades the whole universe. And now let's make it unlimited. Have your loving kindness pervade throughout infinite space. This immeasurable loving kindness, which also includes compassion and joy, equanimity. May all of the living beings throughout infinite space be happy and have the causes of happiness. Be free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful and free from conflict. And may they eventually work their way to realizing unsurpassed supreme enlightenment. For all sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy. Let no one deceive or despise another being in any state. Let none by anger or hatred wish harm upon another. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so let one cultivate a boundless love towards all living beings, and let one radiate this boundless love throughout the entire world, above, below, and in all directions, without hindrance, without ill will, without enmity. So now let's, just for a minute or so, let's sit in this peaceful loving kindness, this interconnectedness with all of nature and all other living beings. You could say this emptiness of separateness. And I now will recite a dedication prayer and thank you for participating in today's meditation session. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. May you be peaceful. I'm grateful and appreciative with great respect. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya.